Prepare to get gas because it's time for the Week in Gear. This week, PRS revives a core model built for gent royalty, Victory makes cabs cool again, and Behringer drops a Mooga Fooga clone that I actually don't want. This episode is sponsored by the subscribe button, so please use it if you haven't already and help a geek out. And in a little bit, I will tell you how you can get this Beatronics wannabe pedal for just $2. Let's kick off this week's top 5 most exciting gear drops with a limited reissue from PRS. Now, built for gent wizard Mark Holcomb, PRS have a signature guitar that's finally back in the core lineup, and it's somehow more beautiful than before. The 2025 Mark Holcomb core model marks the first time in about 10 years that we've seen this signature guitar available outside of the SE and limited private stock runs. And yes, it is hella expensive, but it's also a total stunner. It's available in 7 different finishes, my favourite being the charcoal wraparound burst, because it looks like the sort of guitar that Scar from The Lion King would play just before he drops his brother into the gorge of wildebeest death. Simba would of course inherit the guitar and use it to start the heaviest band the Pride Lands have ever seen, with Rafiki on drums, Pumbaa on bass, and Timon on vocals obviously. And Mark Holcomb Matata would be their hit song. Anyway, let's see some specs then. The body is a violin top carved mango wood on a mahogany body. An ebony fretboard on a 25.5-inch scale set maple neck, and those are 24 frets on there, and that's a 20-inch radius, which is flatter than a Netflix series after season 2. You get a fixed bridge, locking tuners, and a set of his signature Seymour Duncan Scourge and Scarlet pickups, which are basically tight, modern metal tone, bottled and ready. The 5-way switch gives some interesting coil splitting possibilities as well, but the most interesting thing is that this comes ready in dropped C tuning, and it makes absolute sense that PRS would do this. And if a guitar player is famous for playing in a certain tuning, I think it's expected to have that guitar set up and playable for that tuning out of the box. I'm looking at you, Gibson. The Holcomb SE has been popular for years, but this is the real deal. And if you want to experience his tone the way it was originally designed, this is the version you need. The downside, it's going to set you back around 6,000 notes. So I'm out. But hey, it is gent royalty in guitar form. Would I buy one? No. But I kind of just want to stare at it. So it's a clear borrow it and never give it back on the gasometer. If you want to buy one and let me borrow it, that would be very nice. Thank you. At number 4, Victory give their Lunchbox amp heads a reason to get out more, because they've launched a brand new range of compact 1x12 speaker cabinets called the Lunchbox Cabinet Series. There are 6 models: the Duchess, the Kraken, the Jack, the Sheriff, Copper, and Deputy, each designed to pair with its respective amp head. And frankly, these things are adorable. Totes adorbs. Each one is made of Baltic birch plywood and covered in a Zintek mild steel that matches the head, from the classy cream of the Duchess to the brooding black of the Kraken. It looks great. I love it, and it's different. The weight, a mere 8.8 kilograms, which is about 19 pounds or 76 hamburgers. Inside, however, you'll find an interesting choice in the Celestion 7080 speaker. The build quality does look fantastic, and at a size that makes them perfect for small stages, home setups, or even just your aesthetic Instagram shots. This isn't game-changing tech, but it is thoughtful design, so top marks there, Victory. And if you already own a Victory head, these are probably the cabinets you've been waiting for. Prices seem to land around the 350 to 500 note mark, and for something that makes your rig look this cohesive, I'd say that's fair, not flashy. It's not a reimagining of the cab world, but it is a great example of doing something right and doing it simple. The only problem I foresee is the 16 ohm 7080 Celestians do not appeal to everybody. I had a cab with one in, and honestly I never gave it enough playtime. I just listened to the internet and switched it out, and wish I hadn't. But I think Victory have made a safe all-round choice here, but some are going to be disappointed that Victory have gone for this, what seems like a budget choice. I will be getting one in the studio for testing soon, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Gasometer time. Good design, fair price, but that odd speaker choice sees the gasometer peak at add to cart. That could change once I've heard one. Now, let's have a little sponsor break to find out how you can get this pedal for $2. How would you like to own this pedal for just £2? A few weeks ago, I put my Fender Strat up for raffle, and this week, it's this pedal. I'm always looking for new ways to bring Twig to you, so I thought, let's raffle this pedal. I've set the price at £2 per raffle, and there are special offers on if you buy more than one, but please don't buy more than you can afford. And 10% of the sales will go towards my favorite charity in the world, Forest Pulse. It says there are 18 hours to launch up there, but when you're watching this, it will be live. So go ahead, visit the link in the video description to raffall.com and maybe walk away with one of these. Thanks for watching and supporting the show. As always, good luck with the raffle, and let's get back to the gear. Number 3 is a pedal that I did not expect to be so conflicted about. Behringer has continued its streak of Moog inspired pedals with the all analog BM12 ring modulator, and for once it's the first one that I personally don't want to buy and haven't already bought it before recording this. Let's unpack that. The BM12 is an unapologetic tribute. I've done that a lot lately. I'm going to put those in there. No more of that until the end of this episode. It's a tribute to the Moog MF102. It features drive, mix, modulator, frequency, LFO controls, and LFO rate controls. Lots of LFO stuff. Plus, there are toggle switches for waveform shape and modulator range. All this is wrapped in a chunky chassis with a real wood side panel on either side. I think it's real wood. We'll find out. It looks cool. It's also kind of huge, just like the Moog pedals. For the sake of completeness, Behringer had to make this. And the thing is, it does sound great. I watched the demo on Behringer's YouTube channel, which was very entertaining, and honestly, it absolutely nails those swirling, detuned sci-fi Doctor Who textures. You can go from this sort of subtle tremolo-esque pulses to straight up robot meltdown. So why don't I want one? Because I know I wouldn't use it, which hasn't stopped me before, but I'm trying to be sensible. Ring modulation is one of those effects that sounds very cool in theory, especially to a fuzzhead like me, but once it's on the board, it ends up being used for exactly one loop or one ambient track or one seriously weird YouTube video, and then it just sits there. But for the price, it is kind of hard to ignore. It's around 120 notes, and that gets you an effect that's been nearly impossible to get since the Moog originals were discontinued and the price soared. For someone exploring experimental tones, or for noise music, or if someone wants to recreate the intro to South Park, or the solo for Paranoid, R.I.P. Ozzy, this could be a steal. It's just not for the new, sensible me. The gasometer says, wishlist, and I hope someone buys it for my birthday. Thank you. At number 2, Hotone. I can never get Hotone? Is that what I said last time? Yeah, it is. Hotone has entered the tiny portable amp game with the Pulze Mini. And if you thought the Positive Grid Spark Go was tiny and powerful, well, Chuffy, Hotone have just made things far more interesting. The Pulse Mini, or Pulze, maybe it's Pulze. The Pulze Mini has a 2-inch tuned speaker, so 2-inch. 52 amp models, 48 cabs, and over 100 effects. I couldn't get an exact number. And there are 20 user IR slots. It's quite a lot. You can also stream backing tracks from your phone via Bluetooth or just use it as a Bluetooth speaker. And it's a USB audio interface. Yeah, all of that in a box that looks like it should come with sushi. You get a full color screen, a dedicated app for deep tone editing, and Celestian impulse responses baked right in. It also includes a tuner, metronome, and built-in drum machine with lots and lots of patterns. And you know what? I think it looks really cool. It does. I quite like to just have it on the desk or somewhere. It's got a simple layout and a screen that isn't trying too hard. It's battery powered, it weighs less than a bag of sugar, and it is priced aggressively, just under the Spark Go. Just under, by this much, which makes it a very real threat in the bedroom amp market. It is coming in at around 100 notes. There are so many of these products hitting the market at the moment that I think which one to choose is going to come down just to personal preference or whatever colour you like. No, it won't replace your tube amp, but for practice, travel, and noodling anywhere, it could be a good option. The gasometer says, add to cart. I would need to try this before I could even think about buying it because there's that tiny 2-inch speaker. It could be terrible. Pick of the week. Yes, my pick of the week this week is a strange one. Based on which piece of gear I saw that excited me the most, I've chose something that doesn't actually exist. Kind of. Allow myself to explain myself. And this comes with a spoiler warning. The trailer for Spinal Tap 2 has just dropped, and amongst all the not giving much away, I spotted two things. Number one, it's what's missing from the trailer that is very intriguing. Apart from flashbacks to the first film, there are no Gibson guitars. There is a PRS, there is a Collings, there are others, including at least one Fender, and there's even Elton John. But no Gibson. There are two Musicman guitars that are freaking awesome. A Union Jack covered Valentine and a Union Jack covered St. Vincent. And these two are my picks of the week. And that's kind of a big deal because in most movies you see the usual suspects. Vintage Fenders, old Gibsons, maybe a Gretsch. But here is a pair of ultra modern guitars getting the spotlight. And the tinfoil hat on. Could it have something to do with the rumour that Gibson charges for product placements? Maybe. Or maybe someone on the Spinal Tap crew just knows their gear. The actors do play the instruments, as you probably know. I'd like to think it was them. Either way, it is awesome to see a current St. Vincent model show up in a major movie release. And that Valentine too. But the St. Vincent is the perfect shape for a Union Jack. This does suggest a world where signature guitars from modern players are seen as just as iconic as the old classics. No word yet on whether these finishes will be released to the public, but if they are, it is going to be one heck of a collector drop. And I want one. So if they do a sterling model of that St. Vincent, it's going to be a hard week that week. The gasometer says, yes please, and also yes, and buy me some new trousers, ouch, my wallet is on fire. I'll drop a link to the trailer in the video description, and I for one will need to see this movie at least twice. Once to enjoy and once to check out all the gear. Thank you to the wonderful people that support the show on Patreon. Their names are up on the screen. Hello everybody, and also these people support the show right here on YouTube. Hello to you. Thank you much, much, much. Bye. If you want your name up in lights, then click the join button right here on YouTube. It's down there somewhere. or visit my Patreon link in the video description. By the way, if it turns out you can't support the show anymore, that's totally fine. Absolutely fine. I understand. I really appreciate you. Here is a special thanks to the top tier members. Alinta, Buddha Blue, Boom Shakalaka, Buzzle, Dirk, Doug Paget, Hugh G. Rection, Yindrik Strauker, Johnny McBadminton, Mike Lute, Andrew Morgan, Gary O'Neill, Josh Tanberg, Man Dude Bro, PQ Deads, Robin Kelly, Sarang Narayan, and Southern Panda 33. Pleased with myself. Whew. Thank you, top tier members. I really, really do appreciate you. And if you're not a top tier member, you could be. I'll see you in the comments section. Bye! At number 4, Victory just gave their Lunchbox. Telly is possessed. There's one for the outtakes, Victor.